What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're getting into my Week 3 NFL Power Rankings. Let's dive right into it. Starting out with the worst team in the league, still, in my opinion, staying at the same spot from last week. We have the 32 team, the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to be honest, the Cardinals have exceeded my expectations so far. They were actually up by, 21 in that game against the Giants at one point. That's pretty darn impressive for Arizona. They played well. I think this team's well coached. I think that they have that going for them, but it still, I think, is probably the worst roster in the entire league for me. But yeah, the Cardinals, not as bad of a team as I thought, though, coming into the season. So hats off to them. They should be able to get some wins here and there. All right, 31, we have the Houston Texans, 0-2. You know, C.J. Stroud, I thought he played decent in their game against the Colts. It's not the best defense. But yeah, this team just still very young, still lacks a lot of talent. My opinions really haven't changed on the Texans. They just still need to move forward for the upcoming weeks and try and keep on getting better. So they're going to be staying at the same spot. Number 30, dropping down a spot, we have the Chicago Bears, losing again this week to the Buccaneers. I mean, you just can't have it. I think if you're Justin Fields and the Bears right now, it's just not a very good team. The defense sucks. I'm just not impressed with what I've seen from Justin Fields. Really need to figure some things out there from the Bears. All right, 29, going to be dropping down a spot. We have the Colts. Really just dropping down a spot because I was more impressed with the team coming ahead of them here. Good, solid win. Anthony Richardson played pretty darn well. This team, these weapons for the Colts have been breaking loose. The O-line's been much better from last season, I think. So that's good for the Colts. Is it good enough for me to move this team up into the decent tier? I don't think so. I think this team is still in this bad tier for now, but they could move up in the upcoming weeks if Anthony Richardson keeps on playing well and this team gets some wins. But they're going to be staying here in this bad tier and are going to be falling down a spot. All right, now here into the decent tier. Only a short tier there in the bad. There's not a whole lot of bad teams, I think, right now in the league. 28, dropping down 4 spots. We have the Carolina Panthers. And Carolina's just a weird team because I think we need to give this offense some time to figure things out with Bryce Young. But then again, this offense has been looking very bad, and you just can't ignore that fact. You know, the O-line's been really bad. Bryce Young's not had a whole lot of time to throw. I don't think they're very well coached on offense so far with Frank Reich. I just don't know about this offense. I think we still need to give them some time. So I do think this is still a decent team. But that's a tough loss at home against the Saints. That's a game that they probably needed to win there. But really the team that's keeping this really the part of this team that's keeping them competitive is the defense, of course, because it's just been a dominant defense so far. You love to see it if you're a Panthers fan, man. I've been very impressed by this defense. And I think this team has a bright future. They just got to build up this offense. But right now, it's just not the greatest offense. I'm just going to be straight up. And I'm going to keep them in the decent tier here, but they could fall into the bad tier from another bad week from this offense. But I still have faith in Bryce Young. He was picked number 1 overall for a reason. I think this Panthers team could turn things around. All right, but then jumping up 3 spots, we have the Commanders. Very impressive win against a very solid Broncos team, in my opinion. The defense very much struggled to start out the game. The Broncos were picking them apart. But as the Broncos felt a little bit more uncomfortable, the defense came alive, got after the quarterback. The O-line kind of broke down. You're going to have to see what I think about the Broncos later on in this video. But the Commanders, I'm impressed by their performance. And yeah, Sam Howell played good. This offense scored a lot against a defense that's very talented in Denver. So the Commanders, good, solid win. This team deserved to come up 3 spots here, and they deserve to be in the decent tier after that performance. So congratulations to Commanders. You've started 2-0 in the year. Impressive. I still need to see some more from this team, though, for me to take them all too seriously. All right, and then 26, the Rams, just going to be jumping up a spot here. I'm impressed by Los Angeles in week 1. I think this team week 2. I think this team played pretty good. Puka Nakua, very good game. He is looking very nice. As a BYU fan, I'm very happy he's doing good for the Rams. But yeah, these weapons are looking good. I'm still worried about the depth on that team, but they lost to a very good football team, and you can't really hold anything against them for that. So I think the Rams are going to be just fine. They're going to be jumping up a spot there. 25 here, staying at the same spot. We're going to have the Las Vegas Raiders. Really just going to be staying at the same spot because of the Panthers falling down here. The Raiders, you look at what we saw from them, just got absolutely trampled this week against the Bills, which is fine, though, for Las Vegas. This team's just decent. This Bills team was hungry for a win, and they came out swinging at Las Vegas, and clearly they just weren't a good enough team to compete. So this team's literally the definition here of a decent team. The Raiders got a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball with Crosby and Wilson, but it's still just a kind of a decent team and nothing too special for the Raiders. So they're going to be staying at the same spot. Rough loss this week for them. All right, jumping up 2 spots, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm intrigued by Tampa Bay. Beating the Bears, they beat them pretty decently, but I'm not too high on the Bears, obviously, as we see. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this defense. This defense played pretty darn well against the Bears, and Baker Mayfield and this offense did a good enough job. That's been the first 2 weeks for the Buccaneers right there. They've been a good, decent, solid team. Do I think this team deserves to be in the hunt? They could be, but I still have some questions about Baker and this offensive line for me to be really fully invested in this Buccaneers team. I still think, there's some questions there, but great start. You couldn't have asked for a better start for the Buccaneers so far, and they're going to be 24 here. Just need another week for me to take them a little bit more seriously. But now 23, dropping down a spot, we have the New England Patriots. Rough loss for this week for New England, but my opinions really don't change on New England, to be honest. It's still a very well-coached team with Bill Belichick. They fought against a very, very solid Dolphins team. You got to give the Patriots credit where credit's due. This defense played pretty good against a good offense. Mac Jones did enough he could, but it just wasn't enough with these weapons here, and they just need a little bit more of receiver talent for the Patriots. I'm just going to be straight up. It's not the best unit on that side, but still, the New England Patriots are the definition of a decent team. As long as they have Bill Belichick, they're going to be fine. They're going to be competing. I'm sure that they're going to get some things turned around here, but 0-2 starts not the way the Patriots wanted to start it this season. Unfortunately, they had some tough 2 games, though, to start it out. Very tough, actually, with Eagles and Dolphins. So, yeah, the Patriots going to be dropping down a spot. All right, jumping up a spot here. As we get into this in the hunt here, we're going to have the Titans. Titans won this week against the Chargers. That's what you love to see if you're a Titans team. The defense played good enough against Justin Herbert in this game, and the offense did some things. Obviously, it's not the best Chargers defense, but they scored enough points to win this game. Just a well-coached performance from the Titans, and they did it. So that's why I think this Titans team is still going to be an in-the-hunt team. They're well-coached enough, and they got enough talent on both sides of the football that this team's going to be good. This team's going to be good enough that I could definitely see this team, somehow winning this division if the Jaguars maybe continue their struggles. So, the Titans, I'm impressed by their week. Good win against a good Chargers football team. They're going to be coming up a spot there. 21, staying at the same spot, we have the New Orleans Saints. And a good win from New Orleans. The defense played well against a bad Panthers offense. You like to see that if you're a Saints fan, and the offense did enough. I'm still very concerned about that offense. Chris Olave played very good, but it's still not the best offense. It was a very low-scoring game for most of this football game. The Saints just proved to be the better offense than the Panthers as the game went on, and Derek Carr got the job done. So that's winning football for New Orleans. They're going to stay in the hunt here, though. I still think that the Falcons are a better team in the NFC South. But the Saints, good win for them on Monday Night Football. And the defense showed out as well. All right, dropping down a spot here at 20, we're going to have the Vikings. There they are. The Vikings, it's been a rough start to this season for Minnesota at 0-2. This team just struggling to hold on to the football. You don't like to see that if you're Minnesota. I think that they would want to be a little bit more careful with the football, but still, the Vikings team is pretty good. I think this team's going to be just fine. The offense, Kirk Cousins got some things going here in this game besides those turnovers, of course, like I mentioned. But I'm still, thinking that the Vikings are going to be a good team. I think that they have their works to do on defense, though, of course. But yeah, I'm not worried about the Vikings. But they're going to be coming down a spot. They need to get some wins here. 0-2 start, not great, but I could see them bouncing back, though. Dropping down 4 spots here, we have the New York Jets just getting absolutely obliterated, not to put it lightly there. They just did not. They were clearly the worst team there. The defense of the Cowboys just dominated Zach Wilson and the Jets' offense, and that's just how this game went. So you got to build on this. Zach Wilson's got to be better. This offense has got to be better. The defense, gave up 30 points as well. I mean, this is one of the best talent defenses in the league. We saw it in week 1. Can this team bounce back? I think that they still can, but it was just a wake-up call for the Jets. They really needed Aaron Rodgers on this young roster to help build up this team. It's just, man, it's unfortunate for Jets fans. I feel bad for them after losing Rodgers, but yeah, they're going to be dropping down 4 spots. Just not great for New York. All right, staying at the same spot, we have the New York Giants here. And the Giants, a 1-1 start to the season. I don't even know about this Giants team right now because they were losing by like 28-7 against the Cardinals, which is my worst team in the league. So if they lost that game, man, this has been like that was first 6 halves of Giants football, man. That was just straight up embarrassing. But whatever Brian Dable said to this team at the halftime, they woke them up because they came out swinging against Arizona and they've played some good football. So the Giants were able to bounce back. They were able to get the win. I'm still hesitant. This has not been the best start to the season that the Giants were hoping for, but they were able to pull off the just barely win against the Arizona Cardinals. All right, 17, jumping up 3 spots. We have the Atlanta Falcons getting a big win here against the Green Bay Packers. Coming back in that game, you love to see it if you're Atlanta. But yeah, I mean, the Atlanta Falcons, I still have my concerns about Desmond Ridder, though. He didn't look great. He's just being an average, at best, quarterback so far for the Falcons. Bijan Robinson's been phenomenal. I was trying to tell people that Bijan's going to be a phenomenal piece for the Falcons, man. He is one of the best college football prospects coming out. He was unbelievable. But yeah, the Atlanta defense did enough as well in this game to beat the Packers. Kept their team in it when the offense had to get back on the field. So great 2-0 start for the Falcons on top of the NFC South right now. And yeah, the Falcons going to be here at 17, jumping up 3 spots. All right, 16 here, jumping up a spot. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Steelers, there's still definitely some concerns on this offense. Kenny Pickett didn't look great. But as I said, the defense bounces back. The defense comes back, and they have a good week. I was expecting that from this game from the Steelers. I was not expecting a Mike Tomlin unit to have that kind of performance back-to-back weeks. They got 2 turnovers, unbelievable game from this defense. But like I said, the offense has its concerns still. It needs to be better than what we saw. But the Steelers, I still think they're a middle-of-the-pack, 16th best team in the league, in my opinion, at 1-1. Good win for them on Monday Night Football, just barely beating the Browns. All right, 15, jumping up a spot, we have the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers really just jumping up a spot because of the Jets dropping down. I'm not worried about the Packers. This team played better than the Falcons most of that game, just let down at the end. The offense kind of struggled in that fourth quarter, and the defense, they needed to be better in that final stretch to close out this game. But the Packers still a good performance on the road from Jordan Love. And I'm not worried about Green Bay, though. I still think this team is going to be a very good, solid team, and they're going to be coming in at 15, jumping up a spot. 14, though, dropping down a spot, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. 0-2 spot start to the season. I'm just not the most impressed here with Los Angeles to start of the year, especially for this defense. Again, another bad week from this coaching for the defensive side of the football, and Justin Herbert just not enough to carry this team to a victory. It's rough for the Chargers. Not a good start to the season, not a start that they wanted at all. They got to be better than that, and they're going to be coming in at 14. Can they be better? Of course they can. I think Justin Herbert can play a lot better than what we saw, this team in general can win a game against the Titans. But the Titans at home, they played better and they got the win. So that's a rough start to the year for the Chargers. Another rough start to the year for the 13th best team here. We have the Denver Broncos. And the Broncos, man, I was thinking this team was running away with this one against the Commanders. Russell Wilson looked very good, like the Seattle Russell Wilson, to start out that game against the Commanders. But this team just kind of fell off. The defense fell off after that third touchdown. And then Russell Wilson fell off, and this offense just kind of struggled. Russell Wilson did not play great in that third quarter. It was just looking like he was dying to throw an interception. I was just kind of underwhelmed by the Broncos, but I'm still have faith in this team, guys. I know it's hard to believe because this team, continues to lose these close games, but just think that if this team scores an extra point and makes a field goal, this team is 1-0 in week 1. And if this team gets a crazy, no PI call, this team on that 2-point conversion, obviously the Hail Mary was insane, but this team ties the game. So this team's only had a minus 3-point differential in their first 2 games at an 0-2 start. That is legitimately Broncos football right there. They have got to find a way to win these football games. This team is very good, though. Who wants to play the Broncos, though, in a week, man? The defense is very talented. This offense is very talented. The O-line, I think they're just going to keep getting better. Sean Payton, I think he's a coach that's historically really good in the second half of the season. So this team's just got to be better than what we've seen so far. Can they be? I think they definitely can, but again, they have to be better than that. They have to get these wins. All right, number 12, dropping down 2 spots here, we have the Cleveland Browns. And this is really, the Nick Chubb injury is big time. You were expecting a little bit more from Deshaun Watson as well. I mean, Nick Chubb going out is going to really have some setbacks for this offense, man. The O-line, not great in this performance against the Steelers. Really struggled against that Steelers defensive line. And yeah, I'm just a little bit worried about this Browns team right now because I think this team is better. They can be better on offense, but it just hasn't clicked so far to start of the year. And then you look at the defense. Really good performance. This defense, we know what they are, but it's not enough to win them football games as we saw here against the Steelers, especially when the offense throws 2 interceptions and a scoop and score and an interception for 2 touchdowns from the Steelers defense. So the Browns defense still an unbelievable unit. They played great, but the offense got to figure some things out there. All right, number 11, we have the Detroit Lions here. Going to be staying here at the same spot. Good week from Detroit. And yeah, I think that this team played well against the Seahawks. A tough loss, though. The defense, decent, but this team is pretty good, though, still. And you can't just this team. It was a weird game there from the Lions, but they played like they played a very good game. It's a tough Seattle team that was desperate for a win. I'm not worried about Detroit though. Just a tough loss for them. All right, and then number 10, we have the Seahawks jumping up 4 spots here. After a very frustrating week 1 loss, they come out, they get a win against a very good Lions team, and they're going to be coming up here 4 spots. I love to see it from Seattle as a Seahawks fan. Geno, unbelievable performance. I'm really shocked by the 2 tackles, our backup tackles, Stone Forsythe and Jake Kernan. They both played phenomenal in this game for 2 backup tackles against this Lions defensive line. And the defense did enough to pull off the win. So, big time win for Seattle. This team, obviously, we know their strengths. And with those tackles playing good, they were able to get the win. So, that's a good win for the Seahawks. And they're going to jump up 4 spots from that. All right, staying at the same spot here, we have the Jaguars at 9. And the Jaguars, I'm not worried about this team. It was an ugly game. The offense didn't play as good as I wanted them to against that Chiefs defense. Really struggled in the red zone. But, it's just 1 week. No need to overreact for the Jaguars. They'll be just fine. So they're going to be staying here at 9. All right, so now let's go into this contenders tier here. And starting out with 8, dropping down 3 spots, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. And it couldn't have been a worse start to the season for Cincinnati here. The Bengals fans want a lot more. I know you do. Jamar Chase has very much struggled. I haven't won in one of my fantasy leagues. I've been disappointed with Jamar Chase's performances here. They've been struggling to get Chase open. And then the offense, Joe Burrow has not been great. This offense has been very, very bad, honestly, to start of the season. But we've seen it in the past from the Bengals, very much struggling to start of the year and then click. So there's no need to overreact fully. It's just week 2. The Bengals, very frustrating loss against the Ravens, but the defense still a good unit. The offense, that we know the talent's there. They just got to be better than what we've seen. So the Bengals going to be dropping down 3 spots. Hopefully they can turn things around. All right, and then number 7, jumping up a spot and into the contenders tier, we have the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they got a big win against the Bengals on the road. That's deserving enough of coming here into this contender tier, I think. Lamar Jackson played really good football in this game against a solid Bengals defense. And then the defense for the Ravens, that's what impressed me most. Shutting down this Bengals offense, playing really good. And that is what you love to see if you're the Ravens. All of those injuries that happen, this Ravens team is still really well coached, really good defense, and Lamar Jackson did enough and played really good football for the win. So great win for Baltimore. They're going to be coming up to 7. All right, number 6, coming up a spot, we have the Bills. And the Bills Josh Allen just said, I had a very rough week. No more of that. I'm just going to dominate the Raiders. And that was the Josh Allen that we wanted to see if you're a Bills fan. Dominant Josh Allen and the Bills. And that's why this team's a contender. If they can get 4 straight weeks of that, it's going to be very hard to stop the Buffalo Bills. The defense also played really good, but obviously, the week 1 performance wasn't great, so I can't move him up too high here. And obviously, Josh Allen's been proven that he has some of those games, so it's hard to win a Super Bowl if you're inconsistent like that. But can this team find consistency? That I think is the big part for this Bills team. All right, number 5. Sorry, guys. Number 5, we have the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins going to be jumping up a spot here. 2-0 start to the season. The offense played very good against a very well-coached Belichick Patriots team. And, if you're Miami, great win. Tua played good. The defense did enough against Mac Jones. And, you're going to come over the Bengals. You're going to enter into the top 5. It's been a very good 2-0 start. Can this team continue to stay healthy with Tua? That's a big concern, but if they can, heck of a team. All right, number 4, dropping down a spot, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, and that just cracked out all 5 of the contenders for the AFC right there. But yeah, the Chiefs at 1-1. The offense kind of looked rusty, but they got the job done. The defense played very solid against a Jaguars team that was struggling. So you love that for the Chiefs. It's been a little bit of a slow start for sure for Kansas City, but I do think that they can figure some things out and get back to winning football. But yeah, still, it's been a little bit of a concerning start, but there's no need to be too worried about a Patrick Mahomes-led team. This Chiefs team, I still think is the best team in the AFC. It's close, though. I was debating moving them below the Dolphins, but I'm going to keep the Chiefs just barely above them, though. All right, and then number 3, we have the Niners coming up a spot here and just dominant win against the Rams. The Rams did expose a little bit that secondary for the Niners. Puka played very good. I think that's still the weakest link of this Niners team is that secondary. But Brock Purdy played a very good game. The running game was very good. The receiving game was good. The O-line was good. This team is just about everything you need to go on a crazy Super Bowl run. And they're going to be coming in at 3. Number 2, staying at the same spot, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Another dominant performance by this defense against the Jets. And Dak Prescott played really good for this Cowboys offense. The Cowboys O-line played great. The weapons played great. Running game, great. Everything went well in these first 2 weeks for the Cowboys. They're the number 2 team. I was actually debating moving the Cowboys above the number 1 team, the Eagles. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I think the Eagles are still the best team in the league. This defense has been getting up there in age. It is a little bit of a concern on that side of the ball, but I do think this Eagles team is still by far and away the best team in the – well, not by far and away, actually, but I still think this Eagles team has the best roster in the league in general. The defense, not the best performance against the Vikings, but Jalen Hurts and this offense, Devontae Smith, what a performance as well against the Vikings. They got the job done against a solid Vikings team who needed a win too. So, yeah, the Eagles, great week. They're going to be coming in at number 1. But it's close between the next 2. I mean, the top 3 NFC teams here in this contender tier have been playing phenomenal to start of this season. There are 3 scary teams right there. All right. That is my NFL Power Rankings video today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the content today. Comment down below your predictions. Anyway, guys, peace out.